Assalamualaikum, everyone. In this episode, we continue our series of lectures in preparation for stoichiometry problem solving. It focuses on writing a chemical formula and naming a chemical compound. So just hang on, watch and learn. Question number 1. Write the correct formula for letter A, strontium bicarbonate. Letter B, magnesium phosphate. Letter C, ammonium nitrate. Letter D, copper, open close parenthesis, 2, carbonate. Letter E, ferric sulfate. And letter F, calcium hypochlorite. Question number 2. Give the name of each of the following. Letter A, K2CRO subscript 4. Letter B, FeSO subscript 4. Letter Z, Zn parentheses NO subscript 3 close parentheses subscript 2. Letter D, Sn open parentheses OH close parentheses subscript 4. Letter E, Cu ClO subscript 3. And letter F, Ca open parentheses NO subscript 2 close parentheses subscript 2. In our past episode, you have learned that elements are arranged according to groups and periods. In order to understand formula writing, we have to define an important term, that is oxidation number. Alright? So when you say oxidation number of an atom or an ion, it refers to the charge that an atom would have if the compound was composed of ions. Okay, the oxidation number of an atom is 0 in a neutral substance that contains atoms of only one element. Okay, examples: oxygen subscript 2, oxygen subscript 3, phosphorus subscript 4, sulfur subscript 8, and aluminum metal. All these have an oxidation number of 0. The elements of group 1A have an oxidation number of positive 1, right? So this means that these elements are capable of losing one electron to other elements during chemical combination. On the other hand, elements of group 7A, all right, they are assigned an oxidation number of negative 1. Okay, so meaning that each element, such as fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, acquires an electron. Okay, one electron for them to become chemically stable. So, unlike metals, which are almost always in a positive oxidation state, the oxidation state of carbon, all right, in group 4A can vary widely from -4, all right, such as in methane gas, CH4, to +4, such as in carbon dioxide, CO2. Table 2 shows common cations with their variable oxidation numbers. Cations are positively charged ions. So for example, lead ion has a charge of either +2 or +4. In naming lead compounds, we say plumbous or lead Roman numeral 2, all right? Using the what do you call suffix us, all right? It's what we call the classic system, while using the Roman numeral, all right, is what we call the stuck system. Okay, so if the oxidation number used for lead is +4, then we call it, all right, plumbic in the classical system, or lead Roman numeral 4 in the stuck system. All right. The words plumbus and plumbic originate from the Latin word for lead, which is plumbum. Metals with polyatomic ions are formed in the same way as the binary ionic compounds. We place parentheses around the polyatomic ion and write the subscript just after the closed parentheses whenever a multiple of the polyatomic ion is necessary. Table 3 lists common polyatomic ions with their formulas and ionic charges, all right, or oxidation numbers. So just to highlight some of them, we have uh, ammonium, all right. So ammonium is a polyatomic ion, the formula of which is NH subscript 4, and its oxidation number is +1. All right. Another example is the polyatomic ion known as bicarbonate. All right. So bicarbonate has the formula HCO subscript 3, and its oxidation number or ionic charge is -1. And for our last example, we have the polyatomic ion called phosphate, right? And phosphate has the formula PO subscript 4, and its oxidation number or ionic charge is -3. To write the correct formula of ionic binary compounds consisting of a metal and a nonmetal, you must know the ionic charges of the cations and the anions. And we just apply the crisscross method in writing the formula. Okay, so our example number 1, we have the magnesium +2 ion. All right. Of course, its charge is, or ionic charge is +2. When it combines with the -1 fluoride ion, all right, what do you think will be the resulting uh, formula, all right, of the compound? So we do the crisscross, all right. The +2 ionic charge of magnesium will become the subscript of fluorine, while the -1 ionic charge of fluoride becomes the subscript of magnesium atom. Right? So, the resulting product has the formula MgF2. Right? Next example is when aluminum metal combines with a negative oxide ion whose charge is -2, while aluminum has an ionic charge of +3. So crisscrossing, all right, the resulting compound will have the formula Al subscript 2 O3, all right, which means that there are 2 aluminum atoms and 3 oxygen atoms in this compound. Next, we have again aluminum +3 ion combining with a polyatomic ion known as hydroxide. All right. The ionic charge of hydroxide is -1, while that of aluminum, of course, is +3. So, when crisscrossed, the resulting compound becomes or is written as Al parenthesis OH close parenthesis subscript 3. All right. It's understood that the subscript of aluminum atom here is 1. So there is 1 aluminum atom. All right. The, the need for this parenthesis is vital because it indicates that in this compound there are 3 oxygen atoms and 3 hydrogen atoms while there is only 1 aluminum atom. All right. And our last example here is when +2 calcium ion is combined with a polyatomic negative ion known as carbonate, whose ionic charge is -2. All right. So doing the crisscross, we will get the resulting compound written as CaCO3. All right. There's no need to use parentheses. All right. What actually happened is that both calcium and carbonate have the same subscript, which is 2. All right. And customarily, if the subscript of the 2 ions, all right, after crisscrossing are the same, we just disregard them. All right. So in this compound, it's understood that there is 1 calcium atom, 1 carbon atom, and 3 oxygen atoms. For transition or group B elements with variable oxidation numbers, we follow the same procedure in formula writing, but in naming, we specify the oxidation number by either the stock system, all right, or the classical US or IC system. So, as our first example, we have a copper positive 1 ion combining with the negative 2 oxide ion. And the combination produces the compound copper subscript 2 oxygen or O. Okay? Since the lower positive 1 charge of copper is used here, all right, we read it or write the compound as cuprous oxide, all right, in the classical system, or copper Roman numeral 1 oxide in the stock system. All right. Next example, we have a positive 3 iron combining with the negative 2 oxide ion, okay, forming the compound Fe subscript 2 O subscript 3, all right, which we read or write as ferric oxide or iron Roman numeral 3 oxide. It is because the higher positive 3, all right, ionic charge for iron is used here, all right. Positive 3 is the higher ionic charge of iron, all right. The lower ionic charge is positive 2, right? And our last example is when positive 2 mercury ion combines with the negative 2 oxide ion, all right, to produce the compound HgO, all right? So, here, a diatomic mercury ion has a net positive 2 oxidation number, all right? Meaning each mercury atom has a positive 1 oxidation number. While in a monatomic mercury ion, the charge is positive 2. So the diatomic mercury ion is the one read as mercurous, all right, or mercury Roman numeral 1, while the monatomic mercury ion is written or read as mercuric or mercury Roman numeral 2, all right. So therefore, the compound HgO is written, all right, as mercuric oxide or mercury Roman numeral 2 oxide. Answering the given questions now. For question number 1, okay, we have to write the correct formula for strontium bicarbonate. All right. So here, strontium has an ionic charge of positive 2, while the polyatomic ion bicarbonate, the formula of which is HCO3, has an ionic charge of negative 1. So when you do the crisscross, all right, we will produce this compound written as SR open parenthesis HCO subscript 3 close parenthesis 2. All right. So that is the correct formula for strontium bicarbonate. For question letter B, you are given magnesium phosphate. So we have a positive 2 magnesium ion, all right, combining with a negative 3 phosphate polyatomic ion, all right. So doing the crisscross also, we will have the resulting compound written as Mg subscript 3 open parenthesis PO4 close parenthesis 2, right? So that's the formula for magnesium phosphate. Question letter C, we are given the compound ammonium nitrate, all right? And ammonium nitrate is a compound composed of 2 polyatomic ions, all right? The first one is the positive 1 ammonium polyatomic ion, all right? While nitrate, formula of which is NO3, all right, has an ionic charge of negative 1, all right? Take note, this is nitrate and not nitrate, not the other one is nitrite. Okay, nitrite has the formula NO2, so this one is nitrate. All right, so doing your crisscross, we will produce the formula for ammonium nitrate written as NH subscript 4, NO subscript 3. Notice that there is no need for the parenthesis anymore because upon crisscrossing, both ammonium and nitrate ions will have the same subscript. All right? So we actually disregarded those subscript already. For copper Roman numeral 2 carbonate, or that is also called cupric carbonate, okay, the ion copper positive 2 combines with carbonate CO3, all right, with an ionic charge of negative 2. So doing the crisscross, we will have the compound written as Cu for copper CO3, all right. So again, no need for the parentheses because the resulting subscript for both ions, copper and carbonate, are the same. Okay, they both have positive 2 as their subscript. So we just disregarded the subscript 2. All right. Now for question letter E, you are given ferric sulfate. All right. So, ferric sulfate can also be called iron Roman numeral 3 sulfate. And this is the combination of the iron positive 3 ion, all right? Positive 3 ion of iron, all right? Combining with the negative 2 polyatomic ion sulfate, SO4, all right? Uh, when crisscross, we will produce, okay, the compound ferric sulfate written as Fe subscript 2, open parenthesis, SO subscript 4, close parenthesis, 3. All right? Again, we emphasize that uh, the reason why we're able to conclude that this is the formula for ferric sulfate because when you say ferric, all right, in the classical system, we are referring to the higher uh, positive no, ionic charge, which is positive 3. All right? We are sure that this is not ferrous because the ionic charge for, or the lower ionic charge of ion is positive 2, and that is what is known as ferrous. All right, the last one for this question is calcium hypochlorite, right? So calcium hypochlorite is the result of the combination of the positive 2 calcium ion and the negative 1 hypochlorite polyatomic ion. All right. So the formula of hypochlorite is ClO, which when crisscross, all right, we will come up with the formula for calcium hypochlorite written as Ca open parenthesis ClO close parenthesis 2. Moving on to question number 2. All right, we are supposed to give the name of each of the following compounds, starting with letter A. The formula is K2CrO4, all right, which actually is the combination of the ion potassium, all right, and the polyatomic ion chromate, all right. Potassium has a positive 1 charge, all right, which when crisscross, all right, becomes the subscript of chromate, all right, while chromate has an ionic charge of negative 2. That's why when crisscross, potassium K gets a subscript 2, all right. So this is simply written or read as potassium chromate. Now for letter B, we are given the compound written as FeSO4, all right. So this is the combination of the metal iron and the polyatomic ion sulfate, all right. Sulfate, all right, SO4 has a ionic charge of negative 2, while iron here uh, uses the lower ionic charge of positive 2, which when crisscross, iron and sulfate will have the same subscript, which is 2. So these subscripts 2 have been disregarded, all right? And the formula is simply written this way, all right? And the fact that the lower uh, ionic charge of positive 2 is actually used here for iron, this must be written or called iron Roman numeral 2 sulfate or ferrous sulfate. For letter C, we are given the formula zinc, open parenthesis, NO3, close parenthesis, subscript 2. All right? So from the formula, it's obvious that the subscript of NO3, which is nitrate, this subscript 2 is in fact the positive charge of zinc, all right, positive 2, which when crisscross becomes the subscript of nitrate. And the fact that zinc here has no subscript, it simply means that uh, the ionic charge of nitrate is negative 1, which when crisscross, all right, understood that uh, the subscript of zinc is 1, but we disregard it, all right, customarily we don't write the subscript 1 anymore. So this can also be written or named as zinc nitrate, all right, not to be confused. NO3 is nitrate, not to be confused with nitrite, whose formula is NO subscript 2. Both nitrate and nitrite have the same ionic charge of negative 1. All right? Now, for the compound in letter D, it's written as SN, which stands for tin. Open parenthesis OH, which stands for hydroxide, the polyatomic ion, all right, whose charge or ionic charge is negative 1, which when crisscross, understood that tin here has a subscript 1, all right? And the fact that the subscript of hydroxide, all right, outside the parenthesis is 4, it simply means that uh, the higher ionic charge of tin is used here, which is positive 4. And as such, this formula must be named or written as tin Roman numeral 4 hydroxide or stannic hydroxide. For question letter E, we are given the compound written as CuClO subscript 3. So this is the combination of the metal uh, copper or copper ion and the polyatomic ion chlorate. All right, and this can be written or read as copper Roman numeral 1 chlorate or cuprous chlorate. This is because um, copper and the polyatomic chlorate, okay, have subscript, okay, or the same subscript, which is 1. All right, understood that copper here has a subscript 1, and that means uh, the ionic charge of chlorate, which is negative 1, when crisscross, all right, supposed to be this subscript for copper. All right, and since there is no or there's no need to write the subscript for chlorate after crisscrossing the ionic charge of copper, understood to be 1. All right. So the fact that copper here uses its lower ionic charge of positive 1, okay, it is therefore named as copper Roman numeral 1 chlorate or cuprous chlorate. And lastly, for the compound in letter F, which is written as Ca for calcium, open parenthesis NO2, all right, that is the polyatomic ion nitrite, then close parenthesis subscript 2, all right. It's obvious that the subscript for nitrite here, which is 2, is in fact the positive ionic charge of calcium, that is positive 2, all right. And the subscript for calcium is understood to be 1. So that means the ionic charge of nitrite is negative 1. All right? And so therefore, when written or when named, we just say calcium nitrite. Right? Nitrite, NO2, should not be confused with nitrate, whose formula is NO3. All right? Both polyatomic ions have the same ionic charge, which is negative 1. All right? So, that ends our tutorial for this topic. Till the next episode, mabuhay, inshallah. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow me in my FB page and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.